I'm about to
Yeah,
leave
we got to speed run some of these segments.
Go
So
ahead.
yeah, I think I should just play a video, and then we'll commentate because
and we ask questions with each other and go back and forth. We agree to disagree.
Yeah, because reading an article would just be too much. So let's.
When you read it, anybody could read an article. They all have Google. You understand? You could skim through it and we could discuss it. You know what I'm trying to say here?
Overnight, the Defense Ministry is claiming their fighter jets did not use weapons or collide with the unmanned U.S. drone that went down in the Black Sea.
I never got your position.
Meantime, U.S.-European.
Look, I think it would be optimal for the U.S. I hate saying U.S. national security interests because it implies not some sort of. I think it's generally a good thing to arm Ukraine. Because it's the fight for democracy. Russia is this settler colonial state and has been introducing these breakaway regions in the and we saw this with Georgia with 2008, and what was different about that is it took 5 days. This war is probably going to rage on for years. So look, I can't help but see Russia as this, sort of weird imperialist petroleum dictatorship who just want land for whatever reason, and I think side with democracy. That's my opinion.
I'm gonna surprise you. We're not fighting for democracy. This is all shit. This is the 20th anniversary of the Iraqi. You thought that I went. We're fighting for our own survival because we knew that Putin, what is his name? The president of Russia, is using the same playbook that they used in the 1930s in Germany. Every state that has a minorities, he has to invade it to protect the minority. And he was going to head toward the Baltic states, like Latvia, all those small states, have the population is there. What they realize is the American government or the intelligence of our military, we're going to have to fight them later. Then let's fight them in Ukraine. Let the people die. We give them the weapons, and it's okay to give them the best weapons because they're not going to turn against us like what the Mujahideen did in Afghanistan. So we could give them the best weapon. It doesn't matter, and they're going to bleed to death over there for 10 years. It doesn't matter. The problem is how long can they last? The Ukrainian, because they've taken a lot of losses. I read an article. I don't know what was it in the New York Times, whatever. That a lot of the best trained, they're dead. The Ukrainian army. And go ahead. What's the segment? This is on the drones, right?
Yeah. This is on the that was apparently shot down by a jet. I don't know. I don't know why one of our drones would be there. Maybe it was given to the Ukrainians by us, but I don't know. It'll clear it up.
I'm gonna tell you why, because we consider Crimea part of Ukraine, so we considered international space over there. You understand?
Yeah.
Because Russia view that area as theirs because Crimea they annexed it, but us as the United States, we view Crimea as a territory that is occupied by the Russians. So we have every right to be there because it's international water, whatever it is. But I'm gonna give you a little history. Crimea was part of the state during, I think it was Stalin, or I think it was Lenin, when they did redistriction, because there's no land to connect to. They put it back toward what do you call it? In the 1950s, they inserted it with as part of the new redistriction of the land, whatever it was. And have a special relationship. It used to be the capital of, I don't know, for 100 years. You understand? So there's a lot of emotional going on there and all that stuff. But our drones, it was met by. This is the picture they had.
I think this is like a 3D rendition.
Jets were flying over international waters when one of the jets intentionally flew in front of it and dumped fuel. The aircraft then hit the propeller of the prompting U.S. forces to bring it down. It's the first time
they just harassed
military aircraft had reported.
They bumped into it apparently, and it fell out of flight or something.
Us, the United States, we have a lot of patience. We have a lot of patience. We let people around because we know we could take care of business if we have to. You understand? So you know how many times the Chinese come close and they start playing this little pussy game with their Air Force or with their Navy around our ships. You have to have self-control because we know if we start popping, the whole thing's gonna blow over. Because all these little proxy wars, they're proxy wars. We never been in a real war. The only real war and we lost was, I think, was the Vietnam War, and it was ill-planned, and we didn't belong there in the first place. You understand? There was nothing to fight for there. Like World War II, it was about survival. You had to win. We haven't won a war since World War II. We got even in Korea. We broke even. In Vietnam, we lost. In Iraq, we declared this is the 20th anniversary of the Iraqi war. It's shameful that we, as a country, lied about weapons of mass destruction to attack another country and destroy its army, its political class, and bring it to a no man's land. 300,000 Iraqi dies and 8,000 American soldiers dies. And you know what? Every year, 6,000 American veterans kill themselves. The war is still going on. Since 2001.
We're still there.
Yeah, not only that, I'm talking about at home. Since 2001, 124 servicemen have killed themselves inside the United States. That is a war we have inside the United States. So that means the war is still psychologically killing these kids. If they didn't have to go to war and fight this dumb war that was under lie to make Dick Cheney, to get Dick Cheney a new heart, he probably got some Arab heart, some kid that killed him and stole his heart from the battlefield. But this is what we think. Instead of doing that to enrich themselves, they send America in a war that we did not belong in, and we lost, and we embarrassingly lost, and we still lost. Destroyed a country that was secular. I've been in Iraq. Iraq was a secular socialist country. They didn't believe religion had no game inside the government. They're like, yo, everybody keep their shit to themselves. This is a Ba'athist government. It's more of a socialist dictatorship. Listen, free education, free healthcare. If you graduate, they give a down payment on the house, interest free. Everything that we would demand from the progressive movement, they had it in Iraq before we declared war in Iraq. At the same time, our allies, Saudi Arabia, they hanging, they're killing women who have sex.
American journalists, you know, and nobody bats an eye.
Yeah, I was trying to do I wanted to do a whole segment on that because Kevin Cassidy got a small debate, and he's a sissy. Excuse the word. He's a
he blocked me probably because I was associated with you.
He would not debate. I was interviewing him, and he started repeating the same garbage he repeated in 2003. You know, like the talking points. I said, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Oh, Saddam Hussein was raping women." I said, "Where did you get that from? Who told you that?" Oh, listen. You're lying. I told him because I know the politics. The worst thing you could do to somebody who talks a lot of game, because he considers himself a foreign policy bullshit, is when you have somebody who knows what he's talking about and is able to answer back and put him down. I dare him to debate me. He's a fucking pussy like the other ones.
Yeah.
Like, get wild here. Get wild.
Yeah. People like him are why the neocons, especially in the Bush era,
debate me. That's all he said. And when you want to debate him, like a real debate, he doesn't want to go to that. He wants to find somebody who doesn't know anything about the international arena or anything what's going on. Because Americans, we're dumb when it comes to international issues. The average American doesn't give a fuck. They want to know if the X1 or the Heat one. Well, you guys got the Heat. How's Mahomes or the fantasy football league? How they doing? We don't pay attention. That's why Americans' foreign policy, especially in Israel, is hijacked by a certain class that's using it to milk us out of money and keep the Palestinians under occupation. Because we, the normal American, does not pay attention to. I could get you somebody in Yemen who has never been out of Yemen. He knows more about America's politics than an American person does. I swear to God, they know more. We don't know anything. We don't know nothing. We're just like, oh. Did the train raise the fees? That's all we talk about. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, it's ironic. You know, the neocons will sometimes defend Israel, but they never talk about Saudi Arabia. Like, so what?
Israel is not a democracy.
Hey, Mexicans. French people, groomers, Saudi Arabia. What? What? You know, the Bush is colluding with the Saudis? What?
Yeah, bullshit. I'm telling you that You look at right now in Israel. Israel is an ethno state right now. According to Israelis, not us. According to Jewish organizations like Beit Salam is one of the biggest and most best human rights. According to Jewish Americans and Jewish Israelis, they have this law. It's called the Jewish law that that Israel is a Jewish state. But you have about 25% of the populations are Arabs who are Israeli citizens. I'm not talking about the occupied territory here for you. Understand? That's like, let's say if the Congress of the United States got together and said, well, listen, this is a Christian country. You know how much shit we'll pop? What? What are you talking about? You understand? This is the same shit. That's why I can't understand. How the you could be a liberal piece of here, but you could be a hawk like I read a book by with Lamont, a guy named Lamont, Mark Lamont, I think his name is. He's a professor and a black. He has a book called Progressive on Everything Except Palestine. He wrote it with a guy, Ben Bart. He's a Jewish American who has a newspaper. I forgot the letter he has. But the whole idea is that right now they have this guy who's like Trump, Netanyahu, who wants to overhaul the Supreme Court. That they can't be the last word in laws, only the legislative branch. You understand? They're having a war like what we have. Let's just say if our legislative branch said, well, listen, we are the second branch. You have no right. You don't have the last word as a Supreme Court. That's what they're doing there. Did you know Israel doesn't have a constitution? Nobody knows that.
That's funny.
You know, they don't have a constitution. The reason why is to deprive the people who live there of real rights. They rather keep it like this,
especially the Arabs.
Vague. Is the word vague? They keep it vague. They have these common laws from the British, the British and stuff like that. They cobble them together, and sometimes they rule. They say the Supreme Court ruled. What did you rule on? You don't have no constitution to go back to. You don't have, like the source of your laws are not from your constitution. The source of your laws are these laws that you put together from Britain, from the British colonies, from the common laws, the British common laws, and stuff of that nature. And if you look at, the devastation that happens in the Palestinian territories every day, 2-3 Palestinians are killed inside their homes, inside the occupied side of them. They don't want the two-state solution. They don't want the one-state solution. I don't know what the end game is. The end game is going to be genocide. Either they're going to create this violence where they get the Palestinian to ethnically cleanse them to Egypt or something, or to the Gaza Strip. I don't know what the plan is, but I don't think it's pretty, because it doesn't make sense. Inside Israel, you make laws saying that Israel is a Jewish state and the minority are second-class citizens. At the same time, you are building settlements outside Israel with the people that you will not accept inside Israel. But what are you going to do what are you doing? You understand?
That's true. Yeah.
What are you doing? What do you want? You said the Pharaoh had you under, made you slaves, and I don't know. I don't believe that shit. The ocean,
because they're full of it, man. They're full of it.
People go. Let them either. I'm gonna sound crazy. I'm for a one-state solution. I think the Palestinians and Israeli could live together if they have a constitution. But the Israelis don't want that because they're gonna become a minority. This is their problem. They're not having enough babies to continue the numbers with the Palestinians. At the same time, it is a burden. They want to be a pure Jewish state. They can't, because they have 20% of the populations of Arabs. And at the same time, they are building settlements inside the Palestinian territories who are legally and using American money. We send $4 billion, almost $4 billion a year. That's almost like $5,000 for every Israeli citizen inside Israel. Why did you give it to us? The whole idea is, okay, you get in this money, you can't buy. We should tell them you can't buy guns with it. You cannot use it in the occupied territory. You could use it but right now that's $4 billion that the military use. Every hat, every gun, every flashlight, every baton is paid by the United States government taxpayers. Every bullet that shoots and kills the Palestinians was paid by people in the United States, by me, by you, by all Americans in the United States. We are the ones who are guilty and abating this crime that's created, this continual crime for 70 years. We need to say stop. You've been negotiating with them since 1989. They've been negotiation peace. The people who started the negotiation already died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
40 years ago, they already died, and they still. Area A. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's go, man. I get excited when I hear this. I'm really, really excited.
Yeah. The situation over there, God, I wish these lobbies would just stop taking our tax money.
Okay, imagine. I said this before. Ilhan Omar said something about APEC. It's all about the Benjamin. It is about the Benjamin. They spent almost $100 million in the last elections in districts inside the heartland of the United States. If you are a foreign lobby group, whatever, what the hell are you doing?
What do they care about you?
Picking winners and losers inside our government. That's against the law. Imagine if the Palestinians were doing the same thing. Well, let's get that one in New York and try to let them lose it. They'll say, oh, look at that. That's outside money. It should not be happening. There's another group called J Street, whatever it is. It's a more liberal Jewish organization. They just took 100 congressmen and women on a vacation to Israel, all paid for by that organization. This is bribery. This is bribery. You are paying for their hotels, for the food they eat, for the aircraft they go in, and you have this boss that takes them to certain areas where it looks nice and pretty, without taking them to the bad part where you have people where you build walls. Free. They took land from the Palestinian in the West Bank, and they're building walls. They have roads only for Jews and roads for Palestinians. Inside their territory, they control 80% of the water, while 20% of the water goes to the majority of the Palestinians. What's happening in the Palestinian territory is a fucking crime against humanity. And the only thing they get away, I said this before on my son, and it's not anti-Semitic because they are Jewish. It's a Jewish state. You gotta hold it responsible. We want peace. I believe that Israel should have the right to exist and be secure as a state, but it doesn't have the right to oppress and control other human beings. You have 6 million Palestinians, 2 million in a 2-mile radius area called Gaza. It's called the biggest or the open prison in the world. That's it, and nobody says anything. But here, they're progressive. Like what's her name? Porter. What's her name? California Congresswoman
Porter.
Porter. I think her name is. She's smart. She always got the numbers and the digits. She went and she met with Netanyahu. She said we had a good conversation. She's a progressive.
Yeah.
I forgot her name. I was gonna donate to her. I don't. I donate like $20, $25 to these like Nina Turner, all this stuff. They have this called it's called something blue. You donate whatever it's called.
Vote.
Sorry, man, I know we went off track, but I want you to free. You're a young kid. You're smart. I want you to educate yourself on the issue that's outside the country. There are people who are being wrong, like Venezuela. Do you really think we give a about democracy? We're after the oil.
No. Yeah.
Why do we go to democracy to other states that doesn't have no money? That don't have no. But Venezuela, did they deserve democracy, man? You know why? Because he refused to share the wealth with them. Maduro. They have this like mobster mentality. Like Saudi Arabia gets kickbacks. They give $2 billion to Jared Kushner for no reason. They give kickbacks so to stay stable. They call them economic terrorists. They had a documentary about it and get it on Netflix. They used to call themselves economic terrorists. They go to a country. They say, "Listen, we need $5 billion." They say, "Listen, if you don't do it, we're gonna undermine your economy and this and that and destabilize your country." And they pay, especially these Middle Eastern countries, who are artificial countries. They have no real countries.
Yeah.
So the whole idea is that we have to speak truth to power. We have to, as Americans, we have to say the truth in order to be better Americans. To make America better, not to be fools like what they were doing with Saddam Hussein when they were searching the presidential palace for weapons of mass destruction. What, he has a rocket under his bed? I mean, don't you need like a whole base for these weapons to be? Oh, we gotta check the palace for what? Well, he might has weapon of destruction. Really, in the palace? And it was so embarrassing.
Yeah. Great place to keep, a nuke or an ICBM or a chemical shell.
It was so obvious. It's unbelievable. I protested, I was young in 2000. I think it was, hundreds of thousands of Americans young. They had the drums. We go to this demonstration. It's beautiful. You have all these leftists with the drums, all the shit. These young people that know what's going on. And we didn't even get 10 seconds on CNN. I came home. We took a bus. We took about 30 buses from New York. We paid $30 each. And we went there and they brought us back. Not even 10 seconds.
The media was behind it at the time. I mean,
Time was the biggest advocate.
Yeah,